back to Nightly News, and we have a lot to get into in this episode, but before we start, there is obviously some local news that needs to be addressed because it's probably one of the first things that you have noticed. It's a big, you know, visual thing that it's just right in your face, and we need to apologise for it. Yes, Oz still hasn't had a haircut, and
it's quite jarring, Oz.
It is. You almost look like a different person.
I have almost consumed the weight of an entire new person, so yeah. I killed Ben and ate him.
So with that out of the way, you know, we got some content. Like, it's not going to be heaps of content over the holiday, Christmas break and stuff.
Thank you, Mary.
You're not. If that is, you're not drinking that while we're eating.
Are we allowed to drink anything while we?
Well, that milkshake that you're drinking in one of the episodes was just gross, and getting it on your face. Well, it was.
It's not a milkshake. It's just Fanta.
All right, you can drink that.
But I do have something. Thanks, Mary. Who's thirsty, huh?
Well, you're the thirstiest one here, we know that.
Oh, thank you.
It's almost like that esky was a Christmas present.
Yeah. I traded it for a shovel.
So we're still going to be able to bring out some videos. We obviously, they're in local news and updates for the channel. We do want to do Matrix Resurrection review, and we are still intending to finish off our Arcane one, but time is short and we are on holiday, and so things are getting in the way.
Kidding. I was going to do the thing.
Yeah. And I do want to review Hawkeye. I've watched the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye, and
I don't want to review
I don't have much of a desire to watch any more of it.
yeah.
Dude, I saw the LARP thing they did, and I'm just thinking,
I mean, we'll have to. We've done the... We did...
We don't have to. Okay? We don't have to. Look, there's hundreds of shows being brought out every year, and so many of them are crap. We should have some time for the good ones, and some time for the truly awful ones that we're...
So, also in local news, I tried to watch Cowboy Bebop episode 2, and I couldn't get through it.
Yeah.
Wow. I gave up.
I attempted to watch it, and then I attempted suicide. It didn't work.
And we are still regretful of that fact.
No, I'm trying to do death.
That you didn't get to finish the episode.
I'm trying to do death by heart attack or diabetes, one of the two. So should we get into some news?
There's actually a lot of news. The news doesn't slow down even in the holidays. And
No, it doesn't.
There are some significant things to cover. So much so, 1/maybe 2 news items are so big to break down. We might have dedicated videos just discussing those topics because, oh boy.
Or we could just have a 4-hour-long video. That'll be cool. All right, I get the first one.
Okay, go.
Matrix Resurrection writer is angry that the red pill is right-wing terminology. Get sucked in.
I don't know how it necessarily evolved, but I mean...
Well, it's
yeah,
not
I know
right-wing. It's anything that's anti-establishment.
Well, it's about, realising the truth, really.
Realising that...
the world you believed in was a lie.
Yeah. That is exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of... what's the word? Not analogy. What's the word I'm looking
Symbolisms?
for? Not symbolism. Different one.
Allegory?
Allegory, that's the one. There's a lot of allegory in the Matrix. Yeah, lots. The first movie, I dare say it, is an almost perfect movie.
Oh, almost! Wow, that's a different
you know what?
tune.
No, I'll go on and say
No. He was saying perfect,
No, it's perfect.
and now he said almost perfect.
No, I'm gonna say it's perfect. Perfect movie.
It's a great movie. It's not a
single
movie.
fault in it.
I pointed out
It's a flawless dialogue.
3 objective faults, and Oz got so triggered by it.
So triggered by it that, in fact, we're just going to drop it right now. So, the Matrix Resurrections came... Oh, we'll finish up on that.
Yeah, Matrix.
Yeah, so the reason it's right-wing is because currently the left-wing has the institutional power. And so that's why anything that's against that can use the term red pill.
Well, when you say institutional power, it's the what is the mainstream pushes as the accepted, thought, basically.
They control the institution.
Like if you go to schools, and or if you go to university, are any conservative viewpoints are even going to be presented as possibly
It's not
valid?
just schools, university. That's years old, Shad.
Yeah,
It's
and
government institutions, corporations.
Yeah.
Literally anything.
Yeah, you'll get banned off Twitter. Like even you know, private enterprises and stuff are trying to
bank account
push
shut down.
an ideology that nearly half the people, or if not more, don't buy into, don't believe, and so what happens also is that there's just major flaws with a lot of these viewpoints. That there's more people seeming to be red-pilled or like, you know, realizing the facts about it, and only people who get, you know, buy into it are people who do not get proposed the alternate, the other side of the angle, and they get fed lies.
I think it's more than that, though. I think it's until it affects you. It's until the eye of Sauron looks at you, you don't believe it exists.
Possibly,
you know?
possibly.
All right. So, Matrix.
Well, before there is another bit of local news. So, I tried something differently recently.
What did you try?
Yeah, well, it was a Christmas break, and I felt it would have been safe to try this out. You know, it might not have long-term effects, but then I realised, you know, there might be, because we still need to film videos and stuff, and I regretted it instantly after I tried this thing. Yeah, and so when I go to McDonald's, I have a standard meal I usually buy, and I tried something different, and I automatically felt sick afterwards.
What did you get?
Well, I usually like the McChicken. And I tried one of their, I forget even.
Oh yeah, when he orders it, he does the weirdest thing. He's like, "Hi, I'll have the McChickulations."
Instantly regretted my choice, and I'm trying to rectify it as I speak, but it's going to take time because I don't know when I'll go back to McDonald's. So
Yeah, after that experience, I don't know if you want to do that
Yeah.
ever again.
yeah. After I ate it, it felt like I was a different person.
Yeah.
Back to mention you, unless anyone else has local news that they want to share.
What's the next story, Oz?
I watched Matrix Resurrections and it sucks. And the entire left is coping and trying to save it by saying, "It's meant to be bad!" I'm serious. It's meant to be bad. And then we're saying, no, it's not meant to be bad. That doesn't make it good either. It's awful. And then they say, well, that's just your opinion. Like, no.
So they're like some of the conspiracies I've heard about this is that the Wachowskis didn't want to make a new Matrix movie. Warner Brothers was forcing their hand, so they purposely made it bad as a get back at Warner Brothers. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all.
Yeah.
First of all, if you think it's beyond the Wachowskis to make a bad movie with the full intention of trying to make a good movie, you're wrong. Have you seen Jupiter Rising or Jupiter Ascending or Cloud Atlas? Speed Racer is great. Do not say otherwise. I will fight you.
But here's the thing.
But they are perfectly capable of making atrocious films.
They have no right to do that.
Well, there's that. But also, they have careers that they're trying to protect. Like, if they purposely made a bad movie, unless they're ready to just torch their entire careers and they want to move on right into the sunset, I don't buy it. No,
I was arguing with someone about this on Discord, right? The Shadiversity Discord, and someone's like, "Oh, you know, they have no obligation to make a good movie." I'm just kidding. Yes, they absolutely do. They absolutely. If you're given tens of millions of dollars to make a movie that has hundreds of millions of fans,
but also just think about the corporate investment. There is an obligation to the company that you are employed by.
Yeah.
If I employed someone and they intentionally tried to make a bad product, I would burn you guys at the stake.
Yeah, I've never done that. No, but seriously, right?
Hyperbole, all right? Don't take me literally.
If a company comes to you and says, "Hey, you did these great movies years ago, can you do another one for us?" And you're like, "I'll do it just to spite you, you bastard." Like, what the hell is wrong with you? If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Someone else who loves it might do a better job.
I think it is possible for people to make purposely a bad movie, but usually, wasn't that the intention of Starship Troopers? He wanted to make a bad movie to spite the franchise.
He wanted to stick it to the fascists.
But then he ended up making an unironically fun movie that people loved.
Wasn't about fascists at all.
That did not actually ruin the material. It just shows you how much he misunderstood it.
Yeah. Well, how much he misunderstands politics in general.
But in this case, I don't buy it. I think it's massive cope.
Just an awful movie.
Yeah, it's...
use the word.
What?
Massive cope.
Yeah, well, I get to see it so much from you, I just have to accept its reality. Truth hurts, doesn't it, Oz?
I don't use cope. I accept the brutal reality of our world, that there is nothing to look forward to other than death. and the judgment of God. That's all we have to look forward to. Everything else is going to suck.
So yeah, the early reviews of Matrix are not good, but we are going to watch it ourselves.
Yeah.
We might have to wait a little bit until we do our full review.
I'm not kidding when I say this is
I just have to let my feelings grow back on the matter to really dive into it properly, I think.
Yeah. Dude, it cuts deep, man.
Does it?
Yeah. Like, they go full, you know, like, what's the word, what's it called again, where it's just like, it comes straight off, you know,
I don't know.
Mask off, that's the word I was
Mask
looking
off?
for.
It's a bit
full mask off.
It's a full mask off,
Full
man?
mask off, yeah. Yeah, it's actually quite...
It's like you're looking at a completely different person. Like, you know, that was the original Matrix, and then you have this, who is this imposter?
To say this is anything like the other Matrix movies is a bold-faced lie.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Look, Shad.
What?
I can't take it anymore. Okay?
What?
We keep dodging the issue. You know, we're not facing the elephant in the room. I just have to say it. Nathan, you shaved.
Oh, you did.
And now it's growing back.
Once last week.
Yeah, I know.
It's taken this long to get this much back.
Shave it again.
I will.
And again.
I'll do it tonight.
Only start shaving it
once a week, every Friday night.
Every Friday night.
Yeah.
Because, dude...
You're the only one who should shave here.
You're the only one here who should shave.
And anyone else who shaves must be a bloody idiot.
What a fool.
What an absolute moron.
With all these
you don't know what it could do.
Drink.
Yeah. Speaking of Nathan, here's one of his stories. Ubisoft NFT failure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ubisoft invested in doing some NFTs. And what they did was they were like, hey, you can buy NFTs for our cool-ass game Ghost Recon, but you got to own the game, and for 2 out of the 3, you have to play over 100 hours of the game, and then you can buy an NFT from that said game.
And what is the NFT that you're buying?
It's like a cosmetics for the game. So you get like a helmet.
So
a
you're
vest.
the only one who can get that cosmetic?
Anyone else who buys the NFT can get the cosmetic too.
What? So it defeats the point of NFTs?
No offense, Ubisoft, but you're a massive retard.
Wow.
They minted hundreds, which I'm guessing cost them quite a bit.
So there is a limited number then?
Yes.
Okay,
But
that's what they're trying to do.
so far, they've only made $400 from it. Yeah. And
Look, NFTs... I don't see a point, but they probably will take off. I don't know. Am I doing the whole boomer thing? But it's
Every day you do the boomer thing. Every minute of every day.
nowhere near as bad as some.
Yeah, true.
But like, cause yeah, I think.
yeah, no, I didn't get
You
it.
damn kids! With your Pokemon and your Naruto!
I don't know if they'll take off, but right now you shouldn't. It's like any technology, really. Like you have the people who invest in it, like VR, people who are like hardcore into it, you do it, and then once it finds its place, then you can work on it. Same with NFTs. I don't think any big company should be working with NFTs right now.
What they
I
should
have
do
no
is-
idea what it is.
What if they did like NFT coupons? You know?
Like what? Like how would that work?
I don't know, like for the expensive ones, like NFT, like Hitman coupon. I don't know.
It's weird. Let's try and break this out. Right? So say you make a painting, okay, but then you can get really high resolution images of the painting online.
Yeah.
But those images, and you could print off and have like a printout that's really good quality of the painting, but it's not the original painting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can see that. But, okay, so then there are people who make artworks just digitally. Okay? Then they can make an NFT of it. But to me, that wouldn't be the original still. The original would be the actual file that the person made in Photoshop, whatever they're using to make the artwork. I'm so confused.
You know, a lot of people used to think that you made digital art just because of the name. But no, it's actually Josiah Brooks.
I don't get it.
Shad?
Yeah.
Oh, that one didn't land. That one didn't land.
Fine, never mind then. Yeah, no, well, okay, so the thing with NFTs, just like regular art, is that it's literally just money storage for rich people, as well as wealth transfer where you don't get IRS taxed.
With digital products, it's so hard because you can literally make a perfect duplicate of a digital product.
You can just
take
a screenshot.
And if it is literally identical, you can't distinguish
No,
like...
It's different, it's different. Like, okay, on the surface, it's the same, right? Like, it literally is, you have the same picture. But just like you can take a high-resolution photo of, I don't know, like a Van Gogh piece.
No, like, this would be the same as being able to like, you know, Star Trek replicators? Like, you have a Van Gogh piece, and you replicate a literal perfect duplicate that with brush strokes down to the molecular thing, like, even the painting material, everything of the original work.
Taken into context.
And then if you were to take in a room, shuffle them up, and then get a robot to shuffle them up, and you open the door, you would not be able to tell what the original is. They're a perfect duplicate of each other.
Taking things into context, with all the context of a given object,
to me, they're objectively of the same value. In actual fact, because there's two of them now, it would lessen the value of it.
I disagree. Well, okay, what if someone literally cloned one of your children?
Well, there's too much.
That's different!
No, it is different because there's metaphysics involved about the soul, so...
Yeah, well, there's metaphysics involved about, you know, the context.
painting doesn't have a soul, yes, I'm saying.
It doesn't have a soul, but it sure has some sort of value, given the context of the time it's existed, who painted it themselves, who it's been in the presence of, who's owned it.
Yeah, we're getting distracted. We'll move on to the next topic.
That's a legitimate thing, though.
I know, but NFTs are weird. Or we could title the video, Shad doesn't understand NFTs. The end.
There we go.
Which is true.
Yes, that is true. That is very true.
Great story, Nathan. All right. Gritschka Bogdanoff has died at the age of 71. Sorry, I'm getting a call. Hello? Yeah, I spoke French and then hung up. That's weird.
Okay.
All right. Amazon Alexa went Skynet. So there was
she overtook the computers that control the nuclear weapons and launched them globally.
What country was it?
Huh?
What country was it?
The US.
No, it was Russia. It hacked Russia's... Wait, no. Oh, damn it, you're right. I'm stupid!
We all know that, Oz.
I'm glad you realised that while we're filming.
Anyway, yeah, so it went Skynet. A 10-year-old girl asked it, hey, give me some challenges. Why would you have one of these things in your home anyway, you know? And the Amazon Alexa's like, here's a challenge about electrocuting yourself. Basically, you put your iPhone charger halfway into the wall, then you get a penny and touch the exposed prongs. And then you
and it started a timer. It had like, what was it, 20 minutes?
Yeah,
20
and then started
seconds?
a timer for 20 minutes.
It's like, count down now, try the challenge.
This is real? This really happened?
It's really happened.
Alexa said...
Apparently, if Twitter's to be believed.
Either someone hacked Alexis, or they did the thing... Remember that AI Twitter bot? And then everyone basically trained the Twitter bot to be really
racist
or racist and bad. Like, maybe people have been influencing Alexis.
Would you like to know something, though? That keeps happening. They don't even have to hook it up to a chat thing. They've gotten bots that have just been designed to read articles.
I heard about that.
And they come out being incredibly worse than Hitler racist. This is what I'm saying, man. We do not want to make AI. Yeah. Emperor Palpatine says, let's go Anakin in Holostream.
Really?
Yeah.
Palpatine said that.
Palpatine said that.
Does he understand that, you know...
Well, there's a lot of rumours, conspiracy theories really, that Emperor Palpatine might be slightly insane or have some sort
cognitively impaired.
Yeah, he might even be evil. Maybe.
But is the Chancellor?
I know, like, yeah, but that's just the theory.
I mean, look, we voted him in and gave him extra powers to protect us from the Separatists.
Did we though?
And well, I mean, it was an extreme circumstance in which we gave these extra powers to him.
Yeah.
And even though most of the war is won, we can, you know, he'll give the powers back, surely.
Yeah, but he got more Senate votes than any other Senate vote for Chancellor in history, right? Mm-hmm. And he can't even get 15 different systems in the same Senate chamber. You know what I mean? Like when it goes on, it's just the weirdest thing, right? And also, like, there was some systems that had more votes than they did senators to do the votes. Yeah. Dude, Chancellor Palpatine is pretty sus.
Well...
Anyway, so, man-made horrors beyond our comprehension. A human brain cell learns to play Pong in a dish faster than an AI.
Oh, humans still superior.
Yeah. Cybernetic organism. Alright. Yeah, but Shad, that's terrifying. Imagine they just like pluck a little brain.
It shows you like the next advance in computer technology is going to be biocomputers based off of the human brain.
Definitely. Well, there's actually...
Or transplanted human brains repurposed into computers.
Actually, there are...
Nothing immoral about that.
Actually, there are graphene nano storage devices that can hold 11 times the the capacity.
Not 10 times?
11 times.
11 times the detail?
11 times the data of the internet.
11 times the data?
In a 5-centimeter block.
And it just works?
And here's the thing, right? Using quantum computing, it can get any part of that information as quickly as the electrons can actually deliver it to you.
Ooh.
So there's no like.
So maybe we haven't hit the roof of computing technology.
We haven't.
That's been one of the theories, is that in terms of the current, way that computer chips are made, we are reaching the maximum
We're getting
processing.
to the itty bitty bits.
It's like we're down onto the atomic, electron kind of, stuff. So.
All right. Next bit of news. Everyone, get ready.
Well, hang on. Before we go on to that, there is a large kind of news thing happening that we're considering doing a dedicated video on. It's in terms of there's so much to break down with it, and the reason why I'm particularly interested, it affects the YouTube ecosystem really, or not affects, but it's a statement. It's a statement on the YouTube ecosystem, and also the type of social discourse that's happening and what is appropriate and what is inappropriate. So a very large and prominent YouTuber named Lindsay Ellis, and no, I'm not a fan of her content. She's made 1 or 2 videos that I thought were alright, but some of her other ones have just been... She's leaving YouTube. Well, it seems like she's leaving all social media, and I've had a look at her actual statement of why she's leaving, and there's just too much to break down and so much to comment on and things about this, because it has larger effects on the concepts of cancel culture, which we talk about kind of regularly because
it happens a lot.
It happens a lot. People have tried to cancel us and attacked us.
Yeah, weak
but
stuff.
I mean. Yeah, like I said, there's so much to break down that perhaps we'll just do a full video. If it doesn't come out, maybe we didn't get around to it, but I want to go through her statements, read it, and discuss it, and it all stems from an amazingly innocuous tweet. Like, that is...
What was it?
She commented on Raya the Last Dragon when it came out, saying we should make a new subgenre of things that look like Avatar the Last Airbender. And... that's it.
What's the controversy? Oh yeah, because
what are you saying? All Asians look alike? How dare you? Basically, it's not like it's such astounding bullcrap. And yes, there is an obvious similar visual aesthetic in Raya the Last Dragon to Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's blatantly obvious. Yet pointing that out is racist.
It's like you've got a picture of like Japanese cuisine and Chinese cuisine. Like, man, I really love these dishes. And like, what? You saying they're both the same food? Because they're Asian?
And maybe we'll discuss some of the just observations, surface observations, and maybe we'll do a deep dive. But if we cover enough in this video, maybe we won't. We'll see. Well, I'm not promising the other video to come out, but some observations here, right?
I'd like to keep talking about it.
Yeah, because it's very interesting, right? She is guilty of the exact same type of criticism that is going against her. She's tried to cancel J.K. Rowling, for having wrong opinions, according to her. She even recently tried to cancel somewhat of an associate of mine. Her name is Jill Bearup. She makes sword-related kind of content. She, mostly analyzes breakdowns, fight scenes. And I disagree a lot with Jill's breakdowns of things. Have a look at our takes on the Last Jedi throne room fight scene if you want to see a starkly different take on that.
It was good.
She liked it. But the thing is, she's a lovely person, and even knowing that we disagree, I'm more than happy to support her. I wish her all the best. I've even collabed with her on a small short that she made, knowing that I disagreed with a lot. Because this is the thing! People disagree about stuff! And hating people for having different opinions is infantile beyond belief. And so, she's being attacked for having done anti-trans, being an anti-trans thing, when she basically wrote an article which she later took down, and I don't even know what her opinions are currently. There's an old article where she voiced concern that a group of trans activists beat up a 60-year-old woman who was just attending a public, one of those public speaking corner places on the subject of trans rights, didn't even know what this 60-year-old woman's opinions were, but these trans actors beat up a 60-year-old woman, and she voiced concerns about penised individuals going to female prisons and raping female inmates, and that's not a good thing. That was basically her takes, right? But that's enough to be considered anti-trans. And a very large, prominent, and popular YouTuber named I forget his name now.
Tom something?
Tom Scott.
Tom Scott.
Did a collab with Jill.
Oh.
And, but because Jill, she's evil now because of voicing basic concerns, right? How dare Tom make a video with Jill? And guess what Lindsay says on the matter? She says, Tom, you should really take the video down, wanting to basically cancel Jill or not let... It's problematic to associate with someone who had an opinion that's, you know, however many years old, that Jill even took down. And so she still supports cancel culture. And now when it's coming back to her, this is the exact friggin' environment that you fostered. Now, I feel sorry for her mental health struggles. She like some of the things that you read of what Lindsay is going through, she's not handling it well. I'm not saying the hate mob, and there's a hate mob going after her, wouldn't be emotionally distressful, but I do hear such a strong ring of hypocrisy when she was fine with sending hate mobs even larger against other people. But the thing is though, I think so many people on her side of the ideological thing are so fragile, right, that they can't handle. I think a lot of their mental, you know, they claim PTSD, actually is somewhat legitimate, but it comes from being coddled like an infant for most of their lives and being told that you shouldn't allow no one should dare offend you, okay? I think it's a legitimate result of acting and being treated like babies most of their lives, that they can't hack it when the real world comes back and bites them.
Every single person alive has complexes and trauma.
Yeah.
Every single person. These people just want to feel special.
Oh yeah.
It's that simple.
And by the way, I've faced my fair share, but if you think people don't crap on me, you're wrong, okay? Because this thing, knowing who you are, truly knowing, right, and having confidence in that, people can say whatever crap about you, but if you know the truth...
And don't be offended by reality.
And I understand the fact that I don't like it when people lie to other people to give people, you know, I don't know, who've never heard of me, a bad impression of me. Well, then I push back, and I call them out on their bullcrap.
Yeah, lies should be offensive, not reality. Nathan said something really smart about it. Nathan, what did you say, or do you want me to tell you?
You can say it, because I was just talking nonsense, and then I was just like, you're a genius!
That happens often, doesn't it? No, he said it's so tribal, and that it's like they sacrifice these people to their god of wokeness or something like that. It is like that. Literally, they've got this tribal mentality, and when someone does...
She spoke out against the tribe, yeah.
Yeah, and they get sacrificed on an altar.
But what she said was so innocuous to begin with.
Doesn't matter.
This really, to me, just, again, shows that they are looking for things to be offended.
Doesn't matter, it's all about perception.
They're not just saying things where they're trying to resist, like, look, I could give that a pass, it has to be pushed past a certain line for me to really take offense. No, they're like, that's something I could... They latch onto it.
Yep.
Because they can be seen as virtue and attack it. It's pretty disgusting. But also to round this off, I'm really disappointed with Tom Scott. I read he did this blog post thing explaining about these are things that I could do about the whole Jill Bearup situation.
Just ignore it.
No, it's really sad. He basically throws her under the bus.
Yeah.
Like, he hasn't deleted the video, but he's basically just... you know, he's not necessarily gone on board. He reached out to Jill and spoke to her to try and understand what her positions were. But this is the reality, Tom. It doesn't matter what Jill's positions are. Is she a good person? Okay? And her views on how you should treat trans people are irrespective of her views of the reality of gender. Okay? And if she's going to treat them like good people, but it's so obvious, right? But no, your opinions, they think your opinions on any number of things automatically makes you a bad person, then you have to disassociate yourself, right? Because guilt by association. If you really think some views that Jill have are controversial, do you think making her a pariah and cutting all ties and never making a video again and never referencing her on social media or anything is going to help her to your side in her opinion or convince her that you have the correct view? No! This is the thing, right? Tom Scott has made really good stances on things that he knows are immoral. He has this hilarious video against Raid Shadow Legends. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but he full-on calls out that, like, basically supporting Raid Shadow Legends, which is creating obsessive behavior and trying to lure people into gambling and spend all this money is immoral. And people who basically take Raid Shadow, I kind of agree with them. I've turned down Raid heaps of times on moral grounds because I think the type of mobile game it is predatory and disgusting, and I would never support it. And so that's like, good on you, Tom, but then you're not going to stand by an individual who you've worked with. You probably know that she's a lovely person, but because she has one opinion that you disagree with, that the world is saying is all these bad things, you're basically going to divorce yourself from any interaction with her on public online. You might talk to her privately, but no, because you'd be seen associating with someone who is a wrong thinker. Wow, you're a good friend. What a great person to associate with. Like, truly, mate, have some balls. Now, I should say, things have yet to play out about Tom. This is my assumption based on his blog post that he's basically going to divorce himself from any online acknowledgement of any association with Jill from now on. I hope he doesn't. If he's a man of true integrity, he wouldn't do that, because it's basically, that's acknowledgement that you should never be friends openly. Like, not like show the world that you're friends openly with anyone who has opinions that you disagree with, which is disgusting. If you really want to push to a divided world with more conflict, that's exactly the way to do it, mate. I mean, people have tried to attack me in this way because I'm friends with Carl Benjamin.
Oh, I love Carl.
And so, yeah, if you don't know who Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad, right? And the thing is, though, if you really want to know if someone is a decent person, you talk with them directly, interact with them, get to beat, and by actual talking, you get to understand who they are as an individual. And the attacks, their claims about Carl Benjamin being a white supremacist is utter bullcrap. The video that they claim is shown, he literally says in the video where he mentions ethnicity, he's not talking about race, he's talking about culture. And he's talking about trying to preserve British ethnicity in terms of culture, okay? And people have tried to take him out of context and attack him in the most vile ways. But if you think that I agree with everything on Carl, I'm religious, very religious, and he's an outspoken atheist who has attacked religion very aggressively in some of his earlier videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you think I agree with Carl and everything, you're grossly mistaken. But this is one of the great things that I've had to learn, which is a great asset in my life and benefited me greatly, growing up religious, is learning to get along with people who disagree with me.
Oh, proper tolerance.
Yeah. But guilt by association. The very fact that I dared even to have a discussion with him on masculinity is enough to... People have been trying to cancel me, right? Because they're scum. The people trying to cancel me are scum because they believe in guilt by association. That they will literally not associate with anyone who has the wrong think, and they are pushing for a divided world, and the ultimate end is terrible, okay? It's actual conflict. Large-scale conflict if you're going to keep going that way. And so... man, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And if people want to divorce themselves from you, let them. But you have the choice not to do it. Tom, you have that choice to not divorce yourself from poor Jill and throwing her under the bus, or anyone who you disagree with, okay? If you want to build true tolerance, wasn't that thing to be inclusive and tolerant?
So much for the tolerant left.
Yeah. Like, where is the tolerance? Where is the inclusivity? No, right? It's only the type of inclusivity that they want, but any type of inclusivity of people of the wrong think, well, they deserve to be, their livelihoods destroyed. They've driven many people to suicide through this cancellation bullcrap. And they might be, like, I actually kind of feel worried for Lindsay Ellis's mental health. And this is where I do get divided, because she's not in a good place. Some of the kind of rhetoric that she's saying sounds almost going along the lines of suicidal thoughts, right? It's not good. And what's the saddest thing about it is that that's what she's created. She is pushed into that world. And so if you want to actually support people from having really traumatic mental health issues from the cancelling, don't support cancel culture. Be truly inclusive and open to people of other opinions.
Well, their tolerance is only skin deep.
And this thing, you don't have to tolerate their opinions, but you can still be friends with them. I have been very straight down the line about opposing certain ideological beliefs, but I can list off heaps of people who have those opinions that I'm very close friends with, and I love them, all right? But people think that, no, you can't be friends with them because that means you're supporting them in some way.
Well, it's all about action. Action is what determines who you are as a person, not belief or opinion.
Yes.
But that's the thing. Their definition of tolerance is only skin deep. They only use tolerance when talking about minorities and different races. They don't care about. They don't even mention culture or political opinions or anything. Like, they can't tolerate those things.
But no, only the minorities that their group have defined as worthy of, I guess, support.
Well,
I mean, look at how a lot of the extreme left treat Asians.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Like, okay, Asians are a minority. They receive racist attacks and things like that. But because they do well in society, they're well represented in terms of... Actually, one of the... Like, Asians, the highest income earners in America, I believe.
Yeah, they're seen as least threatening.
And so there's people even going so far to say that Asians aren't people of colour now as a result. So is it truly about, racial inclusion?
No.
When they're actually excluding races that don't tick the right boxes of being seen as virtuous when you support them? I guess, like I said, there was a lot to discuss on that topic alone.
So, a bit of local news. We finished up Season 1 of Wheel of Time. How do we all feel about that?
I'm thinking of doing like a post the season, either review, wrap-up commentary, something.
Yeah.
I need, my feelings to kind of regrow on the matter before I'm willing to do a deep dive on it.
Okay.
And it just has to fill out a bit, I think. But
oh, I see. Okay.
but I do want to do one, right? Because there's a lot of things that you can look at as a whole now, and I'd like to just comment on the overarching, like, kind of just show that this isn't Wheel of Time. They literally changed the main characters. They changed really key elements of the world building and plot. It's such a mess. I mean, how could you call it the same story if they've literally changed the main character? And they have. Moraine is the main character in this.
People come up with new names for it. Woke of Time, Wheel of Woke. I've got a better one. Waste of Time.
Waste of Time. Yeah, it is a waste of time.
Yeah.
Your feelings on it, Nathan?
I'm just glad it's over until the next season. Because those are long episodes, the story didn't go anywhere, and I was confused half the time. Angry sometimes, but mostly I'm glad that it's over for now.
Just the 7 stages of grief, basically.
Yeah, baby. Through those 8 episodes, I felt all stages of grief, yeah. And I didn't even read the books yet.
So I like, it's funny, we've already mentioned I don't want to watch the next season. I don't encourage anyone to watch the next season.
But we're going to need to.
But there needs to be people to call out this crap.
Yeah.
And so if we're going to be the few who's willing to do it, we'll do it.
There are nerds that can sleep safely at night because there are other nerds willing to do violence. Wait, no, to watch crappy shows for them. Anyway, so there was a petition put up to fire Susan
Wojcicki? I don't know.
Susan to fire Susan
Wojcicki?
Wojcicki?
It's either a Wojcicki or Wojcicki or Wojcicki. I think it's Susan Wojcicki.
We'll just call her Susan. Susan, the CEO of YouTube. There was a petition to fire her as CEO of YouTube. It got over 200,000 signatures very quickly.
I have complex feelings on old Susan.
Yes.
I don't know. I get the impression, I could be wrong, happy to admit this, I get the impression she's not doing a good job, but I think she's trying, and she probably doesn't get given credit for at least the effort, and even though I don't think it's enough, but the effort she has put in to try and keep YouTube as open as it is, as a platform. It is not open as it should be, but I think she is getting pushed very aggressively by a lot of interested parties to ruin YouTube in terms of a free platform. And as much as we complain about her, I think it could be so much worse. Imagine if we got a replacement that was like the Twitter replacement.
I was just thinking that. Better the woke devil you know.
Like, really. So I'm not exactly on board with getting rid of her, because as bad as it is now, it can get a whole lot worse. And I kind of get the impression that she said that she wants to support free speech and then she doesn't, but she hasn't gotten rid of it, right? I think she's actually been trying, but...
She hasn't chopped down the tree, but she's cutting off all the fruit she doesn't like.
but someone would be willing to chop. Look, if someone could be willing to chop down a whole tree, I would love it. Someone to come in who would be there could be so much more improvements. Like, I mean, getting rid of that the dislike button. Would you rather I have the extension to bring back the dislike button?
But wait till they've gotten rid of that. They'll just remove the entire thing. But I vaguely agree with you. With you. But at the same time, if we have to talk in code just to say things that are mainstream media,
there is heavy censorship on YouTube about the election, about a certain disease and stuff. And what I find disgusting, like really disgusting, right? They were heavily censoring anything that was talking about the origin of the coup in regards to Wuhan and stuff. Cancelled completely. And then later, like, more information comes out that, oh, there was an Institute of Virology that might have had a vastly greater role in the origin of this virus. That seems to be the much more reliable truth at the moment. And YouTube was actively suppressing it. It's factual. They were actively suppressing something that turns out to be much more likely to be true. That shows that YouTube was doing something objectively evil in suppressing the truth.
Facebook too.
And I think they're still doing it though, aren't they? Isn't Facebook? Like, at least YouTube has changed the policy on the origin now.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe it. Like, in part, it took a comedian to point out. Like, that whole thing was like, who was it? Jon Stewart, where it's like, oh, there's been an outbreak of chocolatey goodness near Hershey. Like,
that's good.
Like, could we assume that a bat had sex with a cocoa tree, or maybe it was the chocolate factory? And like, it is so blatantly obvious, right?
That's good. I love that.
Yeah, have you never seen that?
I've never heard that.
Really?
Never heard that.
It was on Stephen Colbert of all places, and Stephen Colbert, he's sweating bullets and look, he is pretty darn woke, Jon Stewart, right? But he just comes out with this.
You mean Stephen Colbert?
No, even Stewart was pretty woke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I believe he was. He's and then he just comes out with this thing. It's Colbert is just sweating his. Oh, hilarious. And yeah, so then extra reports come out, of course, and for me, that is like one of the largest condemnations on YouTube's active censoring. Like, they actively suppressed something that was significant and needed to be and people were actually just pointing out blatantly logical things. It's like, oh, virus started here, there's an Institute of Virology.
Yeah.
Like, and then no.
And not just that though, right? There's literal mainstream media presentations, like, giving out deeper stuff about this. So, for example, to put it in code, they got the Gravemind to investigate the outbreak of the flood. So they got the Vampire Queen to investigate where the vampires came from. And it was the strangest thing, No, man, it was just...
Yeah, so look, censorship on YouTube is an issue.
Yeah.
Massive issue. And I'm not saying it's not. Like, I hate what a lot of the policies that they're doing. And not only that, they're actively suppressing lots of types of content, okay?
Yeah.
And if you, like, I think one of the biggest evidences is actually Lindsay Ellis videos, right? I believe there is actually a tier list, and YouTubers get put into these these groups of basically good creators, like who are supporting the messages and themes that YouTube believes in, and it isn't just like one or the other, but then there's like it goes down gradually, okay? And people on the lowest list who they can't be kicked off the platform, but their content does not get recommended nearly as much. And if you want proof, just look at the trending page.
Yeah.
All right, and my content is interesting. So Shadiversity content, right, is not on the lowest type of suppression, but it doesn't get promoted nearly as much as the golden channels. A lot of gun channels are pushed really low, and you barely get promoted to your own subscriber base, right? And then we see someone like Lindsay Ellis, a golden, YouTube child. All her videos get just pushed in the algorithm massively, right? Because I see heaps of creators that are making content easily as good, if not better, than Lindsay and a lot of these really successful things. But because they might, have the wrong opinions and stuff, it's interesting. I think newer channels, they don't get put on the list right away. until they get prominent enough to then be categorized. And so some channels can get away with much larger growth and can break through that system. And then I think they might even have their token 1 or 2 creators that are guilty of certain wrong thing, but they allow in the upper ones just to try and make a veneer of balance, but it's not balanced, not by a long shot. Because I can list some creators that are doing really successfully, but they're not either overtly or they're allowed in. And I say good. I'm really happy that they're being really successful. Isaac Butterfield is one. Critical Drinker is another.
Yep.
They are surprisingly successful for their anti-woke content, but it is still unbalanced. There is so many people who are not getting promoted, who are making great content.
It's the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah.
It's when it's looking at you.
Well, I wonder how long it'll last. And if you want proof of this, Carl Benjamin, we've already mentioned him, right? He is on the ban list so heavily that he made a new YouTube channel that was far more tame. I think it was a card daily, right? Separate to Sargon of Akkad channel, and it did not take long at all before fully demonetized because he's on the hit list, right?
But now he's got his own media company.
Now he's got and Lotus Eaters at the moment. There seems to be doing. I think it might be demonetized though. The channel.
The channel, but their website.
Their website is doing great and is doing better than ever.
And now they're an authoritative source.
Well, it's an actual news company.
Yeah. Nice work, Carl. Carl Gon Benjicat. All right. Oh yeah. By the way, there was a anti-petition, a petition to remove the petition for Susan Wojcicki. So the one to fire her got 200,000 and counting now. This one got 30.
Wow.
So we'll see who wins. Okay, local news. Nathan got a Barbie.
Barbecue.
Oh, he's calling Barbies.
But when you said Nathan got a Barbie, it just sounds like I got a doll. Not a very manly, I think, gateway into manhood.
No. Nathan's got your taste is
What
brats.
made you want to get a Barbie?
I got it for Christmas.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So
Nice big barbecue.
cook ups.
Cooked a nice lamb steak. That was my first one.
You got a Barbie. I got a.
You got an Esky?
Well, let's do it. We'll go to the Shadlands. We'll film it.
So, just on the note of Shadlands and doing stuff, I want to capture some wild rabbits and take them to the Shadlands and get more rabbits on the Shadlands.
Oh, so you have some good hunting.
So
game.
I can hunt them.
Would you like to know something though?
Right.
They will just hop away and leave. Unless you get a rabbit-proof fence around the place, they'll just leave.
We'll see.
Tell what though.
Because there's alright, so there's a main road where we live, and on one side of the main road there's always rabbits.
There's 20 of them.
We're not kidding. And all throughout the day, and I think it's because the main road prevents any cats or predators crossing. They're not, and so it's actually a really safe spot for them, and they're just there all day. And so
we shall go there at night time.
I'm going to go and capture some, and we're going to release them. And look, if they go away, it'll be pretty easy to just capture some. And I'm half tempted to do like an adventuring cooking episode where we'll skin a rabbit. That'll get demonetized.
If you just
PETA will come after us.
Put food all over the place. They'll stay.
We'll see.
Just go around like Ash Ketchum.
Look, rabbit is a very staple wild game food that, if you're adventuring, you're going to get rabbit a lot.
Well, you can die from just eating rabbit. It's called rabbit starvation.
What?
You haven't heard of rabbit starvation?
No.
Joe Rogan talks about it all the time.
I have to look it up. Look, I've eaten wild rabbit before. And
people in the Arctic, this happens to them. They eat the rabbit meat, and because it doesn't have enough fat, they literally starve to death, even though they only eat protein.
Yeah, but I thought you were trying to say there's something poison in it that'll kill you.
No, I said starve to death, not poison to death.
Okay. Yeah. So
Unless
to my knowledge, it's perfectly fine to eat wild rabbit. So I would like to try and capture one and cook it like an adventurer would have to. But that also means skinning it, Have you ever killed a wild animal? Or just any animal and eaten it? I've done chicken.
No, I haven't.
Like, I've chopped off a chicken's head.
That's the one thing though. I want to have the survival skills.
Yeah.
But the one thing that just irks me is skinning an animal.
Yeah.
You peel it off and then you just...
Yeah, like your first time, you'll probably feel queasy, but it's one of those things that I actually feel is good to build up a kind of resistance or an ability. So you have that skill in your back pocket if you ever need to in the future. I think it's a good manly thing to be able to do.
Wow, that is so problematic.
But not to force it on people. Look, there are some people who are more gentle-hearted, who like just can't handle it, and that's perfectly fine. I would never force it on anyone. But if someone's, capable of doing it, I think, It's good. Like knights in the medieval period, that's why they would go on hunt so much. To one, if when they were younger, they'd take their squires and pages to get accustomed to the sight of blood. But also, boars can be pretty dangerous, and so it was a good training exercise as well. But there was a number of reasons. But yeah, so maybe we'll make a video of it. Maybe we won't, because
We'll just blur it out. No,
but I've seen some. When I say successful, like YouTube won't promote it, but videos that had decent views of like survival channels, and there was this one really interesting, explored like almost Stone Age survival, and they would go hunting with blunt and arrowheads, but they could still kill rabbits with it, and just like take out a rabbit with this blunt and arrowhead.
I think it's educational. I think it should be allowed. I'm not saying it's going to be.
I would take the woodcutting axe and...
We'll do it humanely, like, you know, just...
It's humane if it's a clean swing of the axe.
Quick, clean...
Doesn't matter if I'm, you know, running naked like Patrick Bateman, like, perfectly normal. Hey there, man.
And then we can try different recipes that an adventurer would be able to get. With just like, you know, natural herbs, we could try some with garlic and rosemary. We can try doing a spit roast over fire versus a pottage or something.
Oh, under the fire.
Yeah, well, we'll try different ways of cooking, and it can be that'll obviously be a dedicated Shadiversity video. You know, and
yeah, let's shoot some stuff.
All right, we shall continue. Is there any other news articles?
Oh no, that's all of it.
That's all of it.
No, there's one more.
What?
One thing we haven't mentioned.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Oh.
Aliens.
Right.
Wait. My hair's not.
You need a haircut, Oz.
I do. Aliens. Okay, so NASA has come out and been like, yo, we need to talk to theologians, priests, and all manner of holy men to figure out how best to talk to the public about alien encounters. Now, I used to believe in aliens, because I saw the Joe Rogan things.
What do you mean used to?
I used to believe in aliens. I used to believe that aliens came to Earth and that we...
Okay.
But ever since the media starts talking about it, instantly, no, they haven't been here before. No way. No, seriously.
Even the, like, was it CIA or something released the all this stuff about UFO encounters?
Yep, just make me... Look, if the CIA shows and the FBI shows, I'm like, fine, that leads to evidence to it. But as soon as the media says, aliens maybe, no, they haven't come here.
Look, it is not beyond the capacity of the media to say something truthful, Oz.
I actually think it is beyond their capacity.
I don't think so.
I think that...
If they said the sky is blue, I could... agree with that.
No, it's cyan. No, all they do is lie. That is literally all they do.
A lot of the weather reports are usually accurate. I mean, I can usually rely on the weather reports.
I don't think they're capable of saying anything that could go against their agenda.
I think you've gone too far.
No, but do you agree? They can't say anything that would go against their agenda.
Of course I disagree. There are some good media outlets. Fox News Australia.
No,
Sky News Australia.
Shad, I don't mean all of them when I say that. I mean the people who are guilty of the thing I'm talking about.
Well, I'm glad you clarified now, because you were saying it as a blanket statement before.
Yeah, but be good faith, okay?
No, I am. And I do be good faith by taking the literal interpretation and meaning of what you say.
Like, who do you think I mean?
When you say media...
Yeah.
All media.
I don't mean all media.
Okay,
media.
I'm glad. Well, see...
I mean CNN.
I'm just trying
Fox,
to not misinterpret your words. I'm literally taking what you say.
Either way, Sky News is you know...
Not Sky News UK, Sky News Australia.
Same company, both Murdoch.
No, well, actually, no, they're very different.
They're the same company.
Yeah, I think they're actually owned by different entities. That's why...
I don't think so. I think they're both Murdoch.
No, that's why Sky News Australia is, like, one of the only ones that do semi, you know, anti-woke stuff. They actually push back against stuff.
Look, I just think they're not capable of saying anything that doesn't fit their agenda.
I think they are. I'm not saying that they aren't massively, you know, but no, of course there could be true things around. But anyway, going back on aliens...
Don't dive there, Nathan, by the way. You'll survive.
I totally believe in aliens.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's actually, well...
I believe there are other forms of life, but I don't think they've been here.
Interesting fact, you know, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We actually have it in our scripture that there are people on other planets.
It's canon.
It's canon in our religion. It says it. But I mean, it's a little different. If you like, I find it interesting. You don't have to believe it, but I find it just interesting academically as well to know what other people believe. So we have several additional book descriptions, not just the Book of Mormon. We have a thing called the Pearl of Great Price and Doctrine and Covenants. And the Pearl of Great Price, there is a divinely revealed version of the Book of Moses, and there is an account where Moses is talking with Heavenly Father, and Moses is shown that worlds without number hath God created, and the inhabitants thereof are begotten sons and daughters of God. And so it literally says that there are inhabitants on other planets, we would call aliens, but the difference is is that they're actually sons and daughters of God. Now, in terms of what they look like, if I was to interpret that, I would say they don't necessarily have to be exactly like regular people, like humans. They could be. They could look exactly the same. And I think even evolution might actually have an interesting... Because separate to religion, there are theories of evolution that say the most optimal form of intelligent life is the human form. And so if intelligent life was to evolve naturally on other planets, it is more likely to be in a humanoid kind of appearance or shape, because that is the one that has some of the most greatest benefits for building tools, survival, other things like that.
What about dolphins?
Dolphins
are very intelligent.
Yeah, good luck with them building tools.
They don't really need them in their environment.
I seriously, these things are very useful, and they help in the evolutionary progression of life in a big way. And so, but the thing is, I think a humanoid, or you could still have a human that could look very different. Kind of like Star Trek aliens. But I think Star Trek aliens is even too soft. It's like there's one weird thing in there. Like, I would say you're pretty much human. When that, anyway. But yeah, so yeah, aliens, cool. I believe in them.
Yeah, I just don't believe they've been here or they ever will be.
I don't know. I think it's like, if I was to, my religious views would say probably not, but there's nothing outrightly contradicting the possibility. It could, if I was to say definitive, like I'd probably, like I said, no. But it's possible, and it still fits. Like nothing necessarily contradicting it.
And like I said, I only disbelieved that they came here when the media said so. Just putting that out there. It's like, if someone keeps lying to you, I'm not going to trust what they say.
See, that to me, like, no, that's a bad gauge for truth, man. Really bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bad? I've been right so far.
No.
I have.
Yes, most guns have.
Shad.
Yeah, but when you're saying it as yeah, it's way too broad. You should not use your gauge of truth based on disagreeing with media.
It's a pretty good, accurate way to do it. It is.
What if the media says shooting people with guns has a high chance to kill people? Would you disagree with it?
Of course not.
Okay.
This is bad faith
interpretation. I don't know. No, you know why? It shows that your gauge of truth is not according to media. It's according to what you know to be true.
Yeah, and what
so
I know
therefore
to be true,
so my
what
statement
I know to be true is that the media lies.
It lies a lot.
It lies
but
almost
you
exclusively.
determine it lies by what's true, not by what they say.
Well, yeah, and what they say is the opposite of what's true.
Not always.
Almost always.
And you define it by what. See, anyway.
Let us know in the comments below. As always.
Was there anything else?
Yeah, the one thing that I was going to mention before that we haven't mentioned, that we should be mentioned the whole video, I've changed the way my hair parts.
Oh.
It parts this way now.
I knew you were left-leaning.
Well, I mean, for the camera, it's right now.
Yeah, but I preferred it when it was right-leaning.
But to the viewer, it is.
Yeah,
I
you're on
don't
the
care
left.
what the viewers see. I care what I see.
Yeah, what you see.
It's leaning left. I don't like it. Too far. Too far to the left.
Too far to the left. I need
No, even when it's centered, it's too far left. I won't be satisfied until you have a complete comb over. No hair in the center of your head. You have a bald patch. All your hair is on this side of your head.
Well, this has been Nightly News.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh, yeah. Get out of here. Go watch our older videos. Oh, wait, you didn't do the thing.
What thing?
Fine, I'll do it. And remember, stay watchful.